Expansion was discussed both at a committee level and at the board, and ultimately the league office was tasked by our board with doing an in-depth.
The professional basketball has suddenly changed in a manner that no one anticipated. Everything revolves on a single name that has been discussed for months by everyone. Behind the scenes, the most influential guy in the sport was planning a much more planned move while everyone else was preoccupied with statistics and shooting percentages. Adam Silver has officially taken over, and the ruling he just made over Caitlin Clark has literally rocked the league's front offices. The WNBA has a slow growth mentality and a set of restrictions for many years. However, that period came to an end when Silver made the decision to see the league as the main force behind the NBA's future rather than as a side project. This decision's harsh reality extends beyond marketing and jersey sales. Not everyone is pleased with the new structure, which represents a major reorganization of the game's governance. The abrupt change in priorities seems like a smack in the face to the veterans who have spent decades creating this league. However, from a commercial standpoint, the figures are accurate. Silver came to the conclusion that the Caitlin Clark phenomena was more than a passing fad. A brutal degree of protection was necessary because it was a billion-dollar potential. This was more than a suggestion or a mild prod to the leadership of the WNBA. This was a regulation that altered the marketing, officiating, and even travel aspects of the game. Silver made the decision to favor tradition over a huge financial gain, allowing the other participants to choose their place in this new global order. Everyone anticipated a learning curve when Clark first took the court as a professional. However, no one anticipated the degree of animosity that appeared to accompany her every action. The welcome to the league moments began to seem less like competitiveness and more like purposeful violence. From mid-court shoulders to egregious infractions that resembled football tackles. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 87% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So, did you subscribe already? Great. Thank you so much for your support. Now, back to the video. At this point, the league administration had to make a decision that would shape the sport's future 10 years. According to reports, Silver concluded that the let-them-play mindset was detrimental to business after seeing the league's greatest player get knocked down game after game. Any veteran who attempted to act as an enforcer against the rookie sensation was effectively targeted by this cruel choice. Many players believe that the rules are being changed on the spot to protect one individual, which has caused a huge divide in the locker rooms. However, the ratings make it clear why this decision was taken. 10 times as many people watch Clark's games as regular contests. Furthermore, the league cannot afford for a disappointed veteran to force their golden ticket to sit on the bench due to an injury. The game's flow has completely altered as a result of this protectionist stance. It is now quicker, more scoring, and more perimeter-focused. That is exactly the kind of basketball Silver has been developing in the NBA for years. During the basketball selection procedure, the tension reached a breaking point, a moment for which the league is still not entirely forgiven by many supporters. It seemed to be a basketball choice at first glance that she was under more seasoned participants in the hierarchy. Industry insiders, however, have summarized a much more cruel and calculated reason for her removal. There were rumors that the league administration, heavily influenced by NBA gurus, really wanted her to remain at home. Why would they want their brightest celebrity to be absent from the international arena? The solution is straightforward. Complete control and fatigue management. The WNBA kept exclusive access to her story and made sure she would not burn out before the season's most lucrative stretch by keeping her in the United States. It was a calculated bet that put the league's financial success ahead of the development of each player's worldwide legacy. The league was stunned by this decision since it demonstrated that Clark's natural evolution is not what the decision-makers are looking for. In order to profit from the league's new multi-billion-dollar TV agreement, they want to make the most of every second of her time. Fans felt deceived as a consequence of the immediate repercussions. But the commercial outcome was a rejuvenated, eager superstar who went back to the court and kept breaking all viewing records. Speaking of that TV contract, the size of the new $2.2 billion pact has drastically altered the NBA and WNBA's power dynamics. For many years, the WNBA was seen as a league that often needed subsidies in order to break even. However, Silver utilized the rookie stats as the main negotiating tool with Disney, NBC, and Amazon when the Clark effect was in full gear. This decision's cruel aspect was that it reduced the internal leadership of the WNBA to a supporting position. Taking the initiative, Silver effectively informed everyone that the WNBA is now a crucial component of the NBA's international media plan. Higher production quality, more national TV games, and a departure from the league's previous niche sport vibe are all implications of this. The NBA's corporate machine is now directly watching the league, even if the financial inflow is a blessing for the players' future earnings. These days, every technical foul, contentious tweet, and locker room argument is handled with the same ferocity as a LeBron James or Steph Curry narrative. The league has grown into a larger community. It is a crucial business asset, and Silver has said unequivocally that those who do not adopt the new professional standard will fall behind. The abrupt need for charter flights across the league was one of the most obvious shifts brought about by this new age. WNBA players had to put up with the harsh realities of commercial travel for years, including crammed middle seats, security waits, and delays. The league's justification was always the expense, but Silver and the board abruptly changed course when security worries over Clark's enormous audiences started making headlines every day. They basically forced teams to improve their operations overnight by approving tens of millions of dollars for private travel. Although this was a huge victory for player health and safety, the smaller market teams were severely strained since they were not ready for such a large increase in overhead. Comfort was not the only consideration in this choice. It was a declaration of purpose. Silver was announcing to the world that the WNBA is no longer a second-tier league. Even if it means spending money they have not yet earned, the league must look the part if it wants to sell itself as a leading worldwide brand. Although this spend-it-to-make-it approach is a traditional Silver tactic, it represents a drastic and dangerous shift from the norm in women's sports. However, the most contentious aspect of this new course is the accelerated growth plan. Silver wants to increase the league, not simply maintain it. The league is growing at a pace that has many concerned about the dilution of skill, with new clubs moving to Portland, Toronto, and Golden State. The harsh truth for existing players is that their rosters will soon be plundered in expansion drafts, upsetting the league's competitive equilibrium. The urge to take advantage of the Clark period, while it is still hot, is directly related to this rapid expansion. More jerseys to sell, more games, more markets, and more inventory are all necessary for the league. The realization that the gradual and steady expansion strategy was abandoned the instant Clark's jersey became the best-selling item in professional sports is what shocked the league. The current players are feeling uneasy about what the next collective bargaining agreement will really look like, since the company is growing more quickly than the union can keep up. The administration's handling of the alleged rivalry and envy storylines has also upended the league's internal culture. The WNBA used to emphasize unity and sisterhood, but Silver's crew has recognized that drama sells. It has been a harsh break from the league's conventional marketing strategy to capitalize on the competition between Clark and other prominent rookies like Angel Ree. The league is now emphasizing the conflict rather than downplaying it in order to increase social media interaction and ticket sales. There is a lot of internal conflict as a result of the WNBA's marketing becoming NBA iffied. Players feel that they are being exploited as villains to further the hero story of the league's newest star. But the consequences are indisputable. Silver's risk on conflict-driven marketing is paying off in ways that nobody could have imagined even 2 years ago, and the league has never seen this level of involvement. The commissioner's office has made a clear statement as the most recent round of rulings comes to an end. The WNBA is no longer a project for development. The harsh reality of market worth has taken the place of the traditional norms of earning your stripes in this high-stakes industry. In a single season, Adam Silver's involvement has effectively pushed the league to mature by 10 years. Additionally, the potential benefits are enormous despite the evident growing pains. Every choice the league makes with Caitlin Clark serves as a stand-in for the sport's future at this critical juncture. There is no turning back. Whether you like the new path or long for the days of a closer-knit society, today's harsh choices are paving the way for a league that may eventually have a cultural effect comparable to that of the NBA. And that adventure began as soon as Silver made the decision to save his most precious possession at all costs. The players may be furious and the league may be astonished, but the world is watching more than ever, and it is the only measure that really counts in the sports industry. These actions will have long-term repercussions, particularly if the next generation of players views the WNBA as a feasible, lucrative professional path rather than a pipe dream. The conflict between the new generation and the old guard will not go away anytime soon. If anything, as the stakes rise, the league's decision-making process will become even more severe. Now that Silver has made his wagers, everyone in the basketball world must play their hand. The league's ability to stay true to itself while pursuing the enormous heights set in front of it is still up for debate. There is one thing that is certain. A fast-paced, high-drama, and very profitable version of the game that is just getting started has taken the place of the WNBA we knew a year ago. We wonder how far the commissioner is ready to go to guarantee that the Caitlin Clark period never ends. Because the moves that stunned the league today are probably only the start of a far greater shift that will alter women's sports on a worldwide scale. Locker room uprisings have resulted solely from the change in officiating. Imagine being informed overnight that breathe on the rookie fouls are suddenly the norm after 10 years of playing a hard physical style of basketball. Silver gave clear instructions. Defend the gunman. She was the catalyst for this. But it was not just about Clark. The league management came to the conclusion that casual viewers do not watch wrestling matches. They watch for fast transitions and logo threes. Silver effectively compelled the WNBA to embrace the NBA's offensive-friendly mindset by tightening the whistle. Coaches who had formed their whole defensive identity on aggressiveness characterized this approach as harsh. In only a few weeks, they had to abandon years of planning. The league's rapid enforcement of the new regulations was just as shocking as the rules themselves. Referees who supported the new wide-open style were elevated to prime-time positions, while those who disobeyed faced harsh scrutiny. The players were paranoid as a result. They said that the league was biased in favor of its new star because they felt that they could not interact with Clark without raising the alarm. However, the league saw it as an essential development. You do not want a guy who can lift up from 40 feet to spend 40 minutes stuck in a clinch. You want her to be free to provide the highlights that become popular on social media. Silver is funding this viral economy. He is aware that the league's worth increases by several $1,000,000 each time Clark makes a spectacular shot. However, the alienation of the league's defensive experts, who now feel like relics from a bygone age, is the price of that expansion. According to the leaked internal documents, the NBA was putting entertainment value ahead of basic basketball grit. For many, this was the ultimate betrayal of the WNBA's core values. It was always about earning every basket and being difficult. Some people now see it as a staged performance intended to showcase a single person. However, the first-time attendees do not give a damn about the past. The show is important to them. They want to participate in the event. Silver is working to make the moment as thrilling and polished as possible. The top defenders in the league are now really terrified to do their duties as a result of this strange circumstance. They are aware that a strong foul on Clark will not just lead to a free throw. They will be portrayed as the antagonist in a week-long media cycle. The harsh decision-making process includes this psychological strain. The league is employing this kind of soft power to modify the product without ever having to formally amend the rules. It is about assuming that the stars are untouchable. From the Jordan era to the LeBron James era, it took decades for the NBA to master this. It takes place in real time throughout a single season in the WNBA. The system is severely shocked. Teams are having to reconsider every aspect of their scouting reports. Do you still make an effort to play physical defense, or do you just want to outscore the other team? The latter is increasingly the solution. The TV partners specifically requested this change toward high-scoring games. Silver fulfilled their need for a product that resembled the current NBA. This has enormous financial ramifications. The salary limit will ultimately soar as revenue increases. In 5 years, the guys who are whining now may be the ones who get $20 million contracts. However, the change is now uncomfortable in terms of their reputation and playing style. The veterans are the ones who are suffering. They are being ordered to step aside for the new age, and the league office's handling of this change has been everything than kind. There have been a number of sharp lines made on the sand. You are either in the way of the new vision or you support it, as Silver's team has made plain. In the past, the WNBA worked with far more cooperation between the players and the front office. This kind of top-down administration is new. A corporate urgency has taken the place of that collegial attitude. There is a feeling that the league cannot afford to squander its little window of opportunity on sentimentality. This explains why the decision about Clark was so unexpected. It marked the end of the WNBA as a little player-driven league and the beginning of the WNBA as a major force in international media. Everywhere in the basketball world is feeling the effects of this change. The WNBA is becoming a more appealing destination for foreign players who want to be a part of the Clark phenomenon, and even international leagues are paying attention. Clark is under tremendous strain as well. She is the center of a whole industry, not simply a participant. Every choice the league makes about her is examined for prejudice, and every action she does is closely examined. But Silver has not wavered in the face of it. He is aware that history will ultimately evaluate this period based on its development rather than the wounded sentiments of the players who existed before to the boom. Professional sports are a business first and a game second, which is a harsh truth. The WNBA is operating like a high-stakes company for the first time in its history, and the outcomes are startling and indisputable. It took a rookie from Iowa and a commissioner with a cold, calculating vision to bring the league to fruition. The future is more promising than anybody could have ever imagined. The game is quicker and the stakes are bigger. Even if the way there was littered with choices that rocked the sports core, the questions only get more complex as we go forward. When the next big talent joins the league, how will it treat them? Will they get the same degree of advancement and protection, or is this a one-time Clark-specific experiment? The club's internal dynamics are still changing, and the league's rivals are keeping a close eye on them. However, one thing is evident. The WNBA is no longer trying to catch up. It is establishing the tempo. After the initial shock has subsided, a new reality has emerged in which the harsh choices made today will become the norm. In order to endure and prosper, the league took the necessary actions. It also permanently altered the game in the process.